again, Stephen King fans and readers of good books. This time I'm going to do a review or slash overview of the three Stephen King hard case crime novels that he has written. Now, these novels are not a trilogy, or are they sequels to each other or related to each other. They are just all of them published by the publisher Hard Case Crime, which you can see right there. Okay. All three of them have these vintage style illustrations. I mean, look at this. I really love this cover. Okay, so the Colorado Kid is the first one. And this is kind of an experiment in writing, you know how Stephen King is often, well, shall we say, accused, or it is mentioned that his novels don't have very good endings. Well, this is a prime example here, because this one doesn't even have an ending. It just ends, just very abruptly. And but what it does have is the characteristic Stephen King sense of place and great characters. Okay, so if you like that, you might like here the Colorado Kid. Myself, I found that a rather unsatisfying read. It is about a little town off the coast of Maine, and there is a man that is found dead under mysterious circumstances, and then a student, a graduate student in forensic, tries to solve that crime. Very well. So that's the Colorado Kid. Really not much to say about that one, but a lot to say about the next one, which is Joyland here. And this one, as you can see, is slightly larger. This one is the size of the regular mass market paperback. This one is slightly larger right here. Though I do know that this one has been published in a really nice hardcover form. But anyway, this is one of my very favorite Stephen King novels, and I made my top 10 list of Stephen King novels of all time. Link in the description below. It is about a young man who gets a job at an amusement park, and right then and there, you got me hooked, because I love tales about amusement parks. All right. There, he finds he makes friends with the rest of the employees there of the amusement park. It really tells it's a coming of age story, but not from child to teenager, but rather from teenager to adult, and they're showing some of the very hard truths that come with adulthood, not the least of which is that you might get your heart broken, as it is shown here by this beautiful lady on the cover. Okay. And a very bittersweet story, but very satisfying. This one does have a very good ending. It does have a supernatural element to it, so the horror aspect is there. Though most of it is, that sense of a place, and that sense of spending that summer in a really cool job, which in this case is in an amusement park. At least a cool job as the way it is described here. Even though it's not an easy job by any means, but it allows that character, to finally start getting into the adult world. All right, so I really like Joyland, right here. Great cover also. The last one, as of the making of this video, he may write more for this hard case crime publisher. It is Later by Stephen King. And who knows, as time goes by, I may like this the best, but I don't think so. I think my favorite will still be Joyland. But anyway, this one is very, very good. And this one is the one that most goes into the hard case crime, because it is a crime story. There are, one of the main characters is a detective, which is right here, this sexy lady right here. Okay, and the main protagonist is a child, or rather a teenager, okay, who is shown right there. And when I started reading this book, I kind of rolled my eyes, because it had the typical Stephen King tropes, which are a child protagonist, check, a story in the publishing world, where the characters are either authors or publishers, or somehow involved in the book world. That is also here. And the ability, and this is a very slight spoiler here. The supernatural ability of this teen is that he sees dead people. Okay, and so where have we heard that before? Of course, in The Sixth Sense, which in and Stephen King knows that it's a cliche. He even mentions the movie, or rather alludes to it at least 3 times here, even though he doesn't never mention it by name. One time he calls it that Bruce Willis movie. Okay, but after that, then it really starts to get good. The story evolves. There's some twists. It escalates. The stakes get higher as the book progresses. Right there, and around the midway point, there is a bit of a reveal that is really really good. That kind of ties in with another Stephen King novel. I will not reveal what that is, because that would be a major spoiler. But suffice to say that it is a really good twist, okay? And it really adds a lot to the story, right? That this one is a crime story, mainly, with a supernatural angle that is done very well. Stephen King's writing, as always, is flawless. His characterization, of course, is strong point. This one has very good pacing. It is a short book. I believe it is 260 some pages long, So I got through it in about 2 or 3 days or something. Very, very good. I highly recommend this one. And also Joyland, which is really good. Not so much a Colorado Kid, though you may want to. It's very short. This one is the shortest of the 3, but you may want to read this one just to see how King experiments with the short story form, or rather the shall we say a novella form here. All right, let's see how many pages it is. 184 pages. Well, there you go. The 3 hard case crime books that King has written, right there. That's it for this review, or rather the overview, here for these 3 hard case crime novels. Thank you very much for watching, and keep reading.